Commentary highlights of the French Open quarterfinals match of Jannik Sinner v Alexander Bublik. Jannik Sinner serving, first game of the match. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box a bit on it. Alexander Bublik with a backhand return to the left, just out, so 15 love. Jannik Sinner serves centre of the box, Alexander Bublik, backhand return, backhand to backhand, Alexander Bublik then strikes forehand to left a bit on it. Jannik Sinner backhand return, Alexander Bublik further forward, strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So 40-15. And Jannik Sinner a central serve bit on it. Alexander Bublik backhand block turn. Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to left a bit on it. Then Alexander Bublik with a forehand slice return just hits the net. So Jannik Sinner holds serve in the first game of the match. Alexander Bublik serving, love 15. Alexander Bublik with a serve to the centre, bit on it. Jannik Sinner forehand return, bit on the side. Alexander Bublik with backhand and further forward. Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to right and forehand to forehand. Alexander Bublik backhand to the centre, and Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to left a bit on it. Alexander Bublik backhand, and then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. Love 30. Alexander Bublik was central serve and then backhand to backhand. Then Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the right, bit on it. Alexander Bublik forehand slice turn. Then Jannik Sinner forehand centre, and Alexander Bublik strikes a backhand to the right, bit on it. Jannik Sinner backhand turn to left, and Alexander Bublik with backhand drop shot to the left, and it's spot on. Break point Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik for central serve, bit on it. Jannik Sinner forehand turn. Alexander Bublik then strikes a backhand to the left, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, a bit on that, and it's a winner. And it's a breaker serve for Jannik Sinner in the first set. So Jannik Sinner with a breaker serve in the first set. Alexander Bublik serving, and it's love 30. And Alexander Bublik with a central serve on Jannik Sinner backhand returns right, and Alexander Bublik further for a backhand drop shot to the left, and it's a winner. Alexander Bublik with a central box serve bit on it. Jannik Sinner forehand returns right bit on it. Alexander Bublik returns in centre forehand and then backhand to backhand. And Alexander Bublik forehand drop shot to the left, and Jannik Sinner onto it with a backhand shot to the left, and it's a winner. 2 break points and maybe a double break for Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik with centre box serve bit on it. Backhand turn for Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik at the net with a backhand volley shot, but then Jannik Sinner onto it, and it's a backhand passing shot to the left, and it's a winner. So a double break for Jannik Sinner in the first set. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, and then forehand return for Alexander Bublik a bit on it, and backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner backhand to left with a bit on it struck, and then forehand to forehand, and Alexander Bublik forehand to left, and Jannik Sinner backhand to right, and backhand to right, a bit on it for Alexander Bublik. Forehand slice turn from Jannik Sinner, and forehand and a shot struck a bit on from Alexander Bublik. Jannik Sinner turns, and Alexander Bublik with a drop shot, and Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to left, and then Alexander Bublik with a forehand shot to left after that, and it's winner. 15-0. Jannik Sinner central serve. Alexander Bublik backhand return bit on the centre, and forehand to forehand. And Jannik Sinner forehand to centre. Alexander Bublik shots left for a bit on it. Jannik Sinner a short angle backhand to right bit on it. Alexander Bublik returns, and backhand Sinner, backhand slice Bublik, backhand slice Jannik Sinner, backhand slice Alexander Bublik. Then Jannik Sinner strikes the backhand to the left with a bit on it. Alexander Bublik returns to the left bit on it, but then Jannik Sinner with an overhead smash to the right, and it's a winner. So 5-1 double break Jannik Sinner in the first set, and serving with a set point. And Jannik Sinner with a wide serve bit on it. Alexander Bublik returns bit on it. Forehand Jannik Sinner bit on it. Backhand Alexander Bublik, backhand slice Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik then strikes a backhand to left, and it's a winner to save a set point. Another set point for Jannik Sinner, and Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, and Alexander Bublik for a backhand return just hits the net, and that's game in the first set. Jannik Sinner 6-1. So Alexander Bublik serving the first game of the second set. Alexander Bublik central serve, bit on it. Jannik Sinner backhand turns to the right. And Alexander Bublik backhand to the left. Backhand to right for Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik strikes backhand to left, bit on it. Jannik Sinner backhand turns right. And Alexander Bublik with a backhand drop shot to the right. And it's a winner. So on serve in the second set, Jannik Sinner serving 40 love. Jannik Sinner with a serve and Alexander Bublik strikes return, bit on it, then forehand to forehand. Then Jannik Sinner backhand to the right, and Alexander Bublik forehand side shot, and Jannik Sinner strikes right to left, bit on it. Alexander Bublik with a backhand drop shot to left, and then Jannik Sinner onto it, strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. 2 hold serve, so on serve in the second set. So 2 all on serve in the second set. Alexander Bublik serving 15 love. Alexander Bublik with wide serve, bit on it. Jannik Sinner backhand 10. Alexander Bublik strikes one to right, bit on it. Jannik Sinner forehand 10 centre, and forehand to forehand. And Alexander Bublik forehand drop shot to the left. And Jannik Sinner on. Jannik Sinner not quite onto that drop shot. So that's Alexander Bublik's point. On serve in the second set, Jannik Sinner serving, and Jannik Sinner with a serve centrally, and then Alexander Bublik forehand return, bit on it centre, and Jannik Sinner strikes one to right, bit on it, forehand to forehand, and Alexander Bublik forehand to right, and Jannik Sinner backhand bit on it to left, and Alexander Bublik backhand return, backhand to backhand. Alexander Bublik with a forehand a bit on it to the right, and backhand Jannik Sinner, and backhand slice from Alexander Bublik just hits the net. 40-15. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve, a bit on that, and Alexander Bublik bit of forehand on it, but a bit on that wide serve from Jannik Sinner, and Jannik Sinner holds that service game. So 3 all on serve in the second set. Alexander Bublik serving, and it's 30-15. And Alexander Bublik with a central serve, bit on it. Jannik Sinner forehand return to the right with a bit on it. Alexander Bublik forehand to right, bit on it, and backhand Jannik Sinner backhand drop shots left, and Alexander Bublik, but then Jannik Sinner onto it with a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. Alexander Bublik with a bit on it. Jannik Sinner return, bit on it. And shot from Bublik, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner backhand strikes to the right with a bit on it, and Alexander Bublik forehand to the right. And Jannik Sinner strikes the backhand to left, and Alexander Bublik backhand to right. Jannik Sinner strikes the backhand to the right, bit on it. And forehand to forehand. And Alexander Bublik strikes one to left with a bit on it, and Jannik Sinner returns with a forehand to the right with a bit on it. But then Alexander Bublik strikes a forehand to the right, a bit on that, and it's a winner. Alexander Bublik with wide serve, bit on it. Jannik Sinner backhand return, bit on it, and forehand strikes left, bit on it from Alexander Bublik. Jannik Sinner forehand return, and a forehand strikes right, bit on it from Alexander Bublik. Jannik Sinner returns, but then a forehand drop shot volley to centre from Alexander Bublik at the net to hold that service game. Jannik Sinner serving, and it's 15 love, and Jannik Sinner with a centre to wide serve, and then backhand to backhand, and Alexander Bublik strikes a forehand to right, and Jannik Sinner with a forehand to centre a bit on it, and Alexander Bublik strikes forehand to the left for a bit on it. Backhand Jannik Sinner, backhand slice Alexander Bublik, and then Jannik Sinner backhand Alexander Bublik, backhand drop shots right, and then Jannik Sinner onto it with a forehand side shot to the right, but just hits the net. 40-30. Jannik Sinner with a centre to wide serve, and then backhand to backhand, and Alexander Bublik strikes a backhand to the right, bit on it. Jannik Sinner with a forehand returns left, and then Alexander Bublik strikes forehand to the left a bit on it. Jannik Sinner, Alexander Bublik shot. Alexander Bublik with a drop shot. Jannik Sinner onto it with forehand slice, but just hits the net. So on his Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner with a central serve, but then Alexander Bublik backhand block turn further forward. Jannik Sinner with forehand drive volley to the left, and Alexander Bublik turns, but then Jannik Sinner with the next shot, backhand short volley to the right of the net, and it's winning. Jannik Sinner with a point to potentially hold serve. Jannik Sinner with a centre to wide serve. Alexander Bublik for a backhand return, just hits net, and a bit on that serve, and Jannik Sinner holds serve, so 4 all on serve in the second set. Alexander Bublik for central serve a bit on it, and then forehand to forehand after a shot or so, and Alexander Bublik with a drop shot to the left anyway, and it's a winner. So 30 love, 40-15. Alexander Bublik with a central serve, and it's an ace to hold serve. So on serve, Jannik Sinner serving 40-15 on serve in the second set, and Jannik Sinner with a central serve bit on that. Alexander Bublik backhand turns right, Jannik Sinner backhand bit on that, struck to the left, and Alexander Bublik with a drop shot, but then Jannik Sinner onto it, strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So Alexander Bublik serving 15-all, 5-all on serve in the second set, and Alexander Bublik with a wide serve. Jannik Sinner forehand turns right, and Alexander Bublik forehand to left, and Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. 15-42 break points, Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik wide serve. Jannik Sinner forehand block return to right, and Alexander Bublik further forward strikes forehand to left, and Jannik Sinner forehand returns right, and forehand side shots left behind Alexander Bublik, and then forehand to forehand, and then Jannik Sinner backhand return to left, and Alexander Bublik strikes a forehand to left. Jannik Sinner returns it, and Alexander Bublik strikes a forehand to left with a bit on it. Jannik Sinner returns, and Alexander Bublik up with that with a forehand drive volley to the left, and it's a winner. So another break point for Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik with a wide serve. It's a double fault, and it's a breaker serve for Jannik Sinner in the second set. 40-love, and set point for Jannik Sinner. 3 set points for Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with a centre of the box serve, and Alexander Bublik strikes a forehand return to the right, but it just hits the net. Game and second set. Jannik Sinner 7-5, and it's 2 sets to love to Jannik Sinner. So 15-40, Alexander Bublik serving 2 break points, Jannik Sinner. At the start of the third set, Alexander Bublik could serve an off shot or so, backhand to backhand. Alexander Bublik forward at net with a backhand volley, but not quite over net. And Jannik Sinner with a breaker serve in the third set. Jannik Sinner serving break serve, 40-love. Jannik Sinner some serve a bit on it, and then Alexander Bublik strikes a forehand return to the right. And it's a forehand return with a ace. 40-30. Jannik Sinner with a central serve down at Alexander Bublik, forehand block return, sending Jannik Sinner fair forward, strikes forehand to the right, and Alexander Bublik forehand lob return to the right with a bit on it, and then an overhead smash from Jannik Sinner to the right, and it's a winner to hold that service game, maintain the breaker serve. So 2-love Jannik Sinner with a breaker serve in the third set, and Alexander Bublik serving love 15, and Alexander Bublik with a central serve. Jannik Sinner forehand return centre, then backhand from Alexander Bublik to centre, and forehand from Jannik Sinner strikes right down, forehand side serve from Alexander Bublik, and then Jannik Sinner further forward strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So love 30. 30-40 break point, Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik wide serve bit on that, so that's a break point saved on this service game for Alexander Bublik. Alexander Bublik with a wide serve. Jannik Sinner forehand return to the right, and Alexander Bublik strikes forehand to the right a bit, and Jannik Sinner returns, and Alexander Bublik with a drop shot, but then Jannik Sinner onto it, strikes the forehand to the right, but then Alexander Bublik then with a forehand shot to the right after that, and it's a winner. Break point, Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik with a central serve, and then Jannik Sinner strikes forehand return to the left, and then backhand to backhand. Jannik Sinner strikes the backhand to right a bit on it, and Alexander Bublik's forehand slice return just hits the net, and it's a double breaker serve for Jannik Sinner in the third set. $15-all. Jannik Sinner serving double break. Jannik Sinner central serve bit on it. Alexander Bublik with a return bit on it. Jannik Sinner forehand's right, and Alexander Bublik and strikes shots right, but then Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. 40-15. Jannik Sinner with a centre wide serve. Alexander Bublik forehand block return, and Jannik Sinner fair forehand drop shot to the right. Alexander Bublik onto it. Then Jannik Sinner a bit of an overhead smash shot to the centre, and it's a winner to maintain the double break in the third set for Jannik Sinner. Alexander Bublik serving 15-all on this Alexander Bublik service game, and Alexander Bublik with a central serve bit on it. Jannik Sinner backhand turn and further forward. Alexander Bublik strikes a backhand serve. Jannik Sinner turns, and Alexander Bublik with a drop volley shot over there, but then Jannik Sinner onto it with a forehand slice shot to the right, and it's a winner. 15-30. Alexander Bublik with central serve behind Jannik Sinner says him. Drop shots right from Alexander Bublik. And just about, so that's Alexander Bublik's point. Break point, Jannik Sinner. On his Alexander Bublik serving. Bublik wide serve behind Jannik Sinner. Backhand turn, backhand drop shots right from Alexander Bublik. Jannik Sinner onto it with a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So 5-love Jannik Sinner in the third set. Jannik Sinner with a central box serve, bit on it, then returned backhand to backhand, then Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to left, and Alexander Bublik backhand to centre. Jannik Sinner strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. Jannik Sinner with a central box serve, Alexander Bublik backhand return, backhand to backhand, on the backhand strikes right from Jannik Sinner, forehand slice serve from Alexander Bublik, and Jannik Sinner strikes forehand to the left for Bublik. Alexander Bublik turns to Jannik Sinner, strikes forehand to the right a bit on it. Then a bit after that, it's forehand drop shots left from Jannik Sinner, and it's a winner. 40-love, 3 match points, Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner with a central serve bit on it. Alexander Bublik forehand block return, but then Jannik Sinner strikes the forehand to the right. Game, set and match. Jannik Sinner by 3 sets to love. 6-1, 7-5, 6-love.